So Richard, before we turn the recorder on, you were telling us about how much you actively dislike Robin Williams and how you are really disappointed to have to be on this episode with us.
Untrue.
If you guys could see what you can't, the video medium is not nearly as funny as the audio medium at the moment. Richard's face was pretty confounded. No, Richard, I think you were kind of excited to be on this episode with us, talking about
Totally.
Robin Williams's take on vacation.
100%. I mean, there's always going to be a level of curiosity and engagement when it comes to Robin Williams. I mean, it's like he's not Jerry Lewis, but he's so extreme in who he is that there's always a level of, okay, what version of this actor am I going to get in this particular movie, especially when he started doing weird, unexpected stuff. I'm not sure if this is the weirdest and most unexpected, but you know.
No, the movie we watched last week was probably in the realm of 40-year-old man with a 10-year-old brain. Yeah. If you didn't listen to that episode of the Culture Cast, go check that one out. But on this episode of the Culture Cast, I am still your host, Chris Stachiw, much to the chagrin of at least two people out there in the world, and I'm joined by my two good friends, all the way from Richard Hatem's Paranormal Bookshelf. His name is in the fucking show's title. Your friend and mine, Richard Hatem.
I hate you, Dad. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
And this is Richard Hatem's one-man performance of him and his son interacting with each other on a daily basis. And he puts the Mike White and Mike White March, your friend and mine, Mike White.
Maybe we can feed Carl to the raccoon.
Oh boy, if you're tuning in, you know what we're talking about. But on this episode of the Culture Cast, we're talking about 2006's Robin Williams vehicle, yuck, no pun intended or all pun intended, RV, also known as Runaway Vacation, which just not as good of a title. RV, also known as RV-Runaway Vacation or Runaway Vacation.
Guys?
God, what?
What happened to that little girl who used to go, Daddy's home, watch TV in separate rooms, and we IM each other when dinner's ready?
Let's change things.
On April 28th,
Mom, some idiot just parked this RV outside our house. Oh my God, it's Dad.
you're invited
Good news.
I'm adopted.
Good one.
to spend some quality time
You got a boyfriend?
Yeah, actually, I'm engaged.
Unlikely.
with the family.
Cassie and Earl are making out.
I got him in the rearview mirror. Boy, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
RV,
Does anybody have a vomit bag?
rated PG.
Which I guess is probably like the title for the movie in China, or a place where the two letters of RV are not synonymous with a giant motor home. But yeah, this is still Mike White March, and we are talking about RV. So the film is directed by, of all people, Barry Sonnenfeld, written by Jeff Rodkey, starring Robin Williams as Bob Monroe, a father whose children hates him because he likes to make money and he likes to provide for his family. And boy, wasn't that a trope for like 30 fucking years. Your dad works too hard and provides too much for your family. You should fucking hate him. And so on top of hating him because he makes a lot of money for his family and they live in a house that nobody in this day and age could afford for the price they were affording it, they go on an RV road trip under the auspices of canceling their Hawaii trip, but it is in fact because he has a work meeting in Boulder that they have to go to. This is contrived. It's vacation in anything but name. There's no National Lampoons connected to it. But if you are expecting it to be a road trip movie in the vein of Vacation, that is what you get. So Mike White, I'm going to kick it to you first. I know because if you listened to the last episode, we had never seen any of these movies. You had picked them. Neither one of us had seen them. What did you think of RV?
I surprisingly didn't hate it. If anything, I actually laughed a few times. There's a few moments where I was just like, wow, I can see why people didn't like this, but I was surprised. What the hell's going on? I was picking bad Robin Williams films, and I have yet to get a truly awful Robin Williams movie. So I was disappointed by this movie because I actually kind of enjoyed it.
What about you, Hatem? You were invited and just showed up, which, I mean, again, I always appreciate it. I'll tell you every time you're on here, if you just show up and I invite you,
I'm an easy date. Folks listening at home, here's how it works. I just randomly get invitations on my calendar. There's the name of a movie, a date, and a time. Professor Stachiw has told me that's when the midterm is. And what it means is I need to watch that movie and be prepared to discuss on that date. And I without even thinking, because thinking will get in my way when it comes to invitations from Chris. So I just go, yep, 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 yep. I don't even look at the date. I'm just like, I'll know it when it's going to happen, and I'll do it. I will do as told.
Richard is a good sub in that.
That's right. I don't think of myself as a power bottom when it comes to the Kutcher cast.
Nice.
Wow. All right. Noted.
This movie put me in a terrible mood.
Oh my God. Oh,
This is a
Jesus.
reprehensible movie. It's not poorly made. It's ill-conceived, and it is borderline hideous. I hated it.
Really?
Wow.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
great.
Wait, are you fucking with me? Or are you serious?
No. And by the way, I'm all for tropes and I'm all for contrivances if they're done correctly. This is a mess. And it's a foul, unpleasant mess. It's a mess that makes you feel bad.
All right. You had the reaction I wanted to have.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I feel like Mike is disappointed that he feels robbed here.
I do. Yeah.
Envy me. This is like one of those zombie movies where the living envy the dead who
The
envy the
Walking
living.
Dead are the dead. Ah.
You envy my horrible experience of watching this movie.
I mean, this was nominated for 2 Golden Raspberries and 1 for Worst Excuse for Family Entertainment. And I was like, yeah, I'm primed and ready for this. But here I am just like, yeah, give me more Kristen Chenoweth. Give me more Jeff Daniels. This is great.
Well,
I had no idea what I was getting into. I
Me
literally,
neither.
which is the best way to watch it, by the way. Best way to watch maybe anything is just like, I vaguely recall there was a movie called RV starring Robin Williams. Great. I hit play, and here we are. Here 2 hours later, here we are.
Exactly. Yeah, which I totally agree. I never saw a trailer. I saw the poster. And yeah, I had no idea what this movie was going to be about. I had no idea who was in it other than Robin Williams. And the only thing I knew was that Sonnenfeld directed it. That was it.
isn't it wild that Barry Sonnenfeld directed this movie?
Not really. He's directed some really awful shit.
Yeah, I don't, but that's the thing. Like, I guess I don't necessarily associate him with directing bad things. Because,
I mean,
the
didn't
thing
he
that-
do
Oh.
Men in Black 2?
yeah, but he did Men in Black 1, and he did Addams Family 1 and Addams Family 2, and he did
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, and again, I will defend Wild Wild West. I enjoy that movie. It's not a good movie, but it's entertaining. It's like they don't make movies like that anymore.
Well,
Bad movies aren't that extraordinarily like bizarre. Like we just talked about Captain America: Brave New World, right? I think like middle of the road movie. Wild Wild West is not a great movie, but it's a fucking wild movie. Kenneth Branagh in a wheelchair, Will Smith and Kevin Kline in drag at one point. At Walsh, like I've already made you more excited to sit down and talk about it than you probably would have expected just by those things alone.
Well,
It's
maybe we should have checked out 9 Lives from 2016, the film where
No,
Kevin Spacey is a cat. So
yeah, we
yes.
should have. Movies that nobody wants to hear anyone talk about. Month 9 Lives, the movie that came out the year Kevin Spacey got accused of sexual assault.
Barry Sonnenfeld has made some great movies and some terrible movies.
Mhm.
What's fun about a guy like Barry Sonnenfeld, who, by the way, wrote a very entertaining autobiographical memoir called Barry Sonnenfeld, Call Your Mother, which I read a couple years ago. Totally loved it.
Oh yeah.
He's a very, he's an extreme guy, and he applies his extremism in his aesthetic to various things, to various results. That's the fun of watching a human being approach various material. So yeah, there'll always be something to talk about with Barry Sonnenfeld.
Including the fact that his face is on the side of the RV. Already.
Well,
Through the entire thing.
Holy
which,
shit.
which apparently he felt never got old. The number of shots that lingered on it, landed on it, grazed past it.
They mention him by name multiple times in the movie.
Well, not only that, but like, because we all get the joke. We all live in a world where people drive RVs that are rented by individuals whose pictures are on the side. So of course that's going to resonate with us. Like, oh, of course that. Wow, what a trenchant observation of modern life. The giant person skinned on the side of an what? What was the reference point for literally any joke in this movie? Any
Richard
related
Hatem,
to
I love how
story.
befuddled you are by this film.
Oh my God.
I love how much of an affront this was.
I know. I love it. I'm like,
Love it.
give me more.
This is funny as fuck, Richard. We're just sitting here watching you just like, I swear to fucking, you know what, Richard? I feel like the real issue, and this is maybe my issue with the movie, I think broadly. I think if we sat here between the three of us, we could write a funnier movie than this movie is. And the problem is, it's not that hard, but I almost feel like this movie's hampered by the fact it came out in like 2006. Can you imagine if this movie had come out 2 years later in the year of the iPhone? Half of the jokes in this movie don't even exist. Like half of the jokes in this movie are taken out completely because it's like, well, there's so much comedy that in the early 2000s was stagnated because like, again, think about Seinfeld. How many of the jokes in that show were like, I can't get a hold of somebody on the phone? Like, yes, for that is now the most modern of problems. Like, there's so many things that are like, what were we talking about on the Chevy Chase podcast? Orange County. You remember that movie, Mike, where it's like, all you'd have to do is just call the school and be like, my fucking guidance counselor sent you the wrong transcript. The movie's over. Bum, 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 na, like it's the end of the movie. Like so much of comedy is contrived, but the problem with this movie is it's contrived and not funny. Well, like this movie's not funny. There are funny moments, but I think a lot of what this movie is doing is just ripping off much better movies almost the entire time. And ripping off other things is not a bad thing. However, when you're doing something like this, which is again, and Mike, I think you would agree, the most obvious, like, inspiration here is Vacation, the first one. You wear your influences on your sleeve too much and you don't do enough. In a lot of ways, we haven't talked about it yet on the Chevy Chase podcast, and we will talk about it. That Vacation remake is what this movie should have been. And in a lot of ways, like the Vacation remake is an R-rated version of this movie. The Vacation remake is the Griswold family in an RV going across the country to Wally World. Yep. This movie, literally, and this movie is just a PG-13, by the way, I believe, a movie that just doesn't work very well because it's mining other things, but not mining them in a successful way. That Vacation reboot is a lot more fun than it has any right to be, because it's so fucking mean. It's like the meanest vacation movie out of all of them. And this movie is just not mean enough, I guess. Or hang on, or they're not in I don't know. I think for me, the problem is the conceit of the movie just doesn't work. It should never have been about we're going on a secret road trip to my job. I'm sorry. I saw Jingle All the Way in 99. This is the same thing. Stop with the dad works too much trope, because that trope is fucking lazy. Even now. Then, now, always.
Well, I'm sorry. I kind of came in the middle of what Chris was saying because I had to go lock my dogs in a dark basement. But let's talk about mean.
Oh, you talk about your children that way.
I know. I would not say the problem with this movie is that it's not mean enough. There's something. Look, it goes back to my earlier statement. Our shared movie language is based on tropes. Okay. It's based on one of two things, usually the successful application of tropes or the successful subversion of known tropes. Because tropes are what we all go into a movie with. Okay. You can call them expectations. It's like, this is a romantic comedy. A romantic comedy has tropes. Therefore, we have expectations. If you're Nora Ephron, you execute those and you subvert them at the same time. And that makes a satisfying film-going experience. Okay, so now we have this. It's a family, ostensibly you could call this a family comedy if you had to place it into a genre. Great. There is a trope working against it for me. And that trope or approach is, we're going to make most of the main cast unpleasant assholes.
Wait, you think that the main cast in this movie are unpleasant assholes?
The wife and the two kids hate their father in such an aggressive, incomprehensible way. It's like, I'm unclear. We weren't satirizing, the upper crust. It wasn't, Daddy, where's my tiara? So that we could at least place it into it's just, I hate you. Well, but why? Why does the son hate him? Why does his daughter so aggressively hate him? And the movie never contextualizes any of this. It sort of makes assumptions, which is, well, she's a teenager, so she's a bitch. Well, he's a horny 13-year-old who's a wigger. He's the white kid who's into rap in 2006. And by the way, that was a fucking trope in 1992. And so he's a shithead. And here's the problem. Your main actor is Robin Williams. Okay, so now you've doubled the problem because he is someone who we come into a movie typically expecting to really like and enjoy.
No, we always go in. That is
right.
No, Robin Williams is an American icon. That was what we said last time. Robin Williams is an American icon like Jimmy Stewart, like Tom Hanks.
So now you're really hampering yourself because it's like, well, we're going to have three characters on screen just at their wits' end of not liking Robin Williams. So we don't get what you're going to have to give us a good reason why they don't like him. And Robin Williams is being fairly pleasant. So I'm not totally getting it. Yes, he's a little impatient and he's kind of got he's attached to work. But beyond that, he's still Robin Williams. These people hate him. And so here's what's going on. In subpar material, he's not as funny as he usually is. And under the relentless assault of three main characters telling the audience they hate him, and that we're trained to cue off of character desire, motivation, and behavior, we begin to not like Robin Williams. And we don't understand. So we're in trouble. We're like, okay, these people hate him, but we want to like him, but we're being told not to like him. Also, it's not his funniest movie. Now we don't like any of them, and now we're not liking him. We got nowhere to go. Will Arnett playing a very Will Arnett style character. Well, we don't like him. What are we left with as an audience? Who are we connecting to? Who are we rooting for? What are we hoping for in this movie?
I completely agree with all of that. I really wish that they had gone farther with so many things. You're talking about the unlikability of things. And yeah, had he been a little bit more Clark Griswold, where he's, sorry, can't stop. We have a timetable, and like a real aggressive jerk when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, oh, there's the St. Louis Arch. Oh, can we stop? No. And just keep on going.
Okay. Right. Exactly. But now here's the beautiful thing. In American film, in any film, iconography and celebrity iconography counts for everything. Okay. Now let's compare Robin Williams and what we know of him, his iconography to America, especially, and Chevy Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Chevy Chase, you're totally prepared to enjoy not loving.
Exactly.
Now there's an actor who has a middle ground that they could have cast, except he wasn't quite famous enough yet. And he's the guy who they actually got to do the new Vacation movies, Ed Helms.
Yep.
An Ed Helms kind of actor could have been in this movie, and the movie itself would have been more successful because the family's skepticism about him is shared a bit by the audience. Now it's not such a discordant note, and maybe now we can move forward a little bit. But I mean, you can't get further apart in the way an audience wants to embrace an actor than Chevy Chase and Robin Williams.
Well, and the other thing that, I was talking about how I liked Kristen Chenoweth and I liked Jeff Daniels. And I think we're not supposed to like them. And we're supposed to really feel for this family who are trying to avoid them. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, there's so many better ways that if you wanted them to be boorish pigs, if you wanted this to be, you mentioned the whole like, well, daddy kind of thing, like maybe again, go more extreme and have these people have it be more the slobs versus the snobs kind of thing, where it's like the other family who are in their roadster. I mean, they seem very, very pleasant. Yeah, they sing songs and stuff. They're a little weird that way, but I mean, also he's got a great voice. She's got an amazing voice. The kids are really good. And like, yeah, the whole thing is just like, yeah, pump it up. Like, give me more. And yeah, give me more of like the kid Josh Hutcherson should have been more like frickin' Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted or something, like a complete spaz, has no idea what's going on. Don't be hating, that kind of thing. Like,
have you guys seen Soul? Soul Plane does it better. Soul Plane does it better. There's a character in Soul Plane played by Ryan Pinkston who is the exact same version of this character, but just toned way up. And Josh Hutcherson's Josh Hutcherson, I think, is too endearing, unfortunately, as an actor, just like Robin Williams. Like, it's kind of too bad because Josh Hutcherson is just as endearing as Robin Williams, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Hutcherson,
the kid that's in that Vacation remake, the little kid, he is such a little shit that you just want to beat him with, the rip off his arm and beat him with the wet end. But with this kid, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's a little confused, but he's not stupid. He's not, like,
he's not
I'm gonna
AJ
start,
Soprano.
Yeah, I'm going to start writing down my scroll so I can spit my lyrics at you, like something. Like, give him a character of some sort.
He's a likable actor.
Yeah.
So therefore he is miscast. What you need, and again, the timing doesn't quite work out, but adjust ages and years, and you put Pauly Shore, and then it's like, oh yeah, that guy's a likable asshole.
Right.
Pauly Shore is a likable douchebag. So make him that guy. And then we're laughing at that guy's behavior, but we're not. There was something very sour about this, and it went on way too long. If you want to start out with kids being that way, a little bit, great, but they can't be, it can't be relentless and energized. Just like, right. I am not done busting your balls. I'm just getting fucking started. It's like, I'm not relaxed into a good mood here. I don't feel safe in the hands of the cast and the filmmaker to sit back and enjoy a good time. And Mike, you're so right. Jeff Daniels and Kristen Chenoweth, who for a moment I thought was Amy Sedaris, come across as really nice people who are actually trying to help a guy who does not know what the fuck he is doing.
Right.
And they have nothing but contempt for these people. Are we supposed to share that?
No.
That's what
I think we're supposed to, but I don't.
And even when the movie gets really sour, where it's almost like, wait, is the take of this movie that we're all supposed to be on the side of wealthier people and we don't like them because they have Southern accents?
Yes.
Right.
The Ted Turner WCW of it all. I don't take it seriously because they talk like this. Like, oh man, nice Southern folks who live in their RV. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, who seem like a really loving family. And when they said, like, they even set up a joke, they're like, oh yeah, we're homeschooled. And I was like, oh, so they don't know anything, because I've met kids that are homeschooled and they're all a bunch of fucking idiots. But no, they're like, oh yeah, I got into Stanford or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, oh, I skipped a grade. I was like, well, that's your mom that's teaching you. So I don't know. But then no, they end up being like pretty darn smart. I was like, okay, yeah, like you have to play up these tropes or something, make them like super religious weirdo asshole kind of thing. Or like, like Jeff Daniels could have turned into like a MAGA guy like that and could have really like been a completely different type of asshole. But I'm just like, what the hell? Like, even when it comes to them like trying to empty out the sewage system, and you get that guy, you get the other family that comes in there and they're trying to help them out. And again, it's like, okay, well, we're supposed to understand that these guys are stupid rednecks, but again, they're being super helpful and they're really trying their best.
That's why that's why I said the movie's not mean enough.
Yeah.
Because and Richard, I guess I should have explained, like, the Vacation movie is mean to the main character more. Right. This movie's not mean enough. They're not put in like really harrowing situations where shit goes amiss, because that's not but that's not the way this movie's trying to bring the family together, is my point. Like,
and you don't you don't want to see bad things happen to Robin Williams. You just don't.
But it would bring him and his family closer together, like in The Simpsons, like in the Simpsons episode where it's not Simpsons Over an Open Fire, but it's the one where Homer gets covered in mud and they think that he's Bigfoot and they go out into the woods together. Like, again, you have a similar thing where Homer Simpson is a hard to hate, very easy to love dope, and that's the character that Robin Williams is trying to play in this movie. And at the same time, it's like, well, in that you have them really being put through the paces, and by the end of it, they come together as a family. And this, they're not really put through the paces.
But not only that, but the Simpsons don't look down on people. The Simpsons are like, ooh, they're irritating. Let's get away from them. Ugh.
No, they're the irritating ones. They're
Right,
the irritating ones.
I'd rather spend time with the what are they called? The Goreckis or something?
Gornickies, yeah.
Yeah.
Gornickies?
You mean
Yeah, I'm like,
you mean the Flanders?
yeah, the flag.
I mean, really, like
Yeah, but it's like, but I mean, again, it's like, the Simpsons thing is almost, not quite the perfect match because the Simpsons know they're not better than anyone. And so we can identify with them because they're not walking around, again, Bart and Lisa aren't going, I hate you, Dad. I literally hate you with every
Right.
fiber of my being. Are we supposed to take that seriously? Or are we supposed to look, we've got two choices. Either the kids are right, so we hate Robin Williams, which is a tough one, or they're wrong, so we hate them for hating Robin Williams. I almost think that casting it was the major problem here. Like, this did not have to be a Robin Williams movie at all.
Mhm. No, it's strange. And I was just rewatching it earlier and I had completely forgotten about that opening scene, the whole thing of him with the little version of Cassie and the very, very little Josh Hutcherson, where it's just like, what does this even add to this movie? Is this like, here's a blissful scene? Because she says something like, Dad, I don't want to ever get married, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you never really see like why she's saying that. And you don't get that same attitude later on. Like, she's just absolutely fine being with, it's like she really finds the one guy in the Gornicki family attractive, Evan, right? I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that has nothing to do with that opening scene. That opening scene is completely wasted. And really, it should have just started with her in the back of the car calling him an idiot while he's trying to find her friend's place, her friend who then pours all that slime all over Will Arnett. And I'm like, oh, I can see Robin Williams being fired for that. But no problem. And I don't know why. Like, I understand he has to go out to wherever, Colorado, there it is, Boulder, to, do his speech thing that he's doing to Ben and Jerry or whoever these guys are, Larry and Gary. But at the same time, like, why is he waiting to write the presentation and he's there up all night and then he's writing it on a fucking BlackBerry and then trying to get the signal and everything? I'm like,
because why did it have to be a secret from his family?
I don't
know.
at all.
Because they were going to Hawaii and now they're not. He
So,
couldn't have just gone on his own and flown to Boulder. Like, that's the thing for me that we haven't really talked about is why there's a weird cut at the beginning of the movie where it's like, oh yeah, my family goes on an RV trip every year, and Robin Williams is like, and that's like RV. Like, whoa, wait, what? Like, it is that abrupt. We don't get the Eugene Levy Chevy Chase scene in this movie of I'm at the RV dealership with Barry Sonnenfeld trying to sell me the RV, and we go and look at all the RVs, and you have 5 minutes of Robin Williams mugging and doing practical comedy in the RVs.
Right.
Where's that scene? Oh, well, we needed it because there's literally just a hard cut to RV trip and then RV. There's somebody with RV in the driveway, like.
Because it's a payoff with no setup. We don't understand the importance of the trip. We don't understand why this or how this is a solution. We don't understand why it has to be a secret. In other words, the entire setup of the movie. And by the way, there will be people in the world who go, "Oh, come on, who cares? This is a stupid comedy." No, for this comedy to work, for any movie to work, you have to understand what the basic principles are. What does he want? And by the way, it's unclear to me the degree to which he's invested in his job and the degree to which he's invested in his family. He doesn't seem really invested in.
Well, by the end of the movie, he literally leaves the job that he has for another one. So I would say he's not fucking invested in his job very much.
You either need.
They breathed on him and he went, "Oh, okay, I'll leave."
You either need a movie where he's way too involved in his job and
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jingle All the Way.
Right. And the family is like, we love this family and we love, and we have the potential to love Robin Williams if he just finally sees the light and understands that the family's more important than this. But we get it. His family is worth it. He doesn't get it yet. We understand the journey we're on, the emotional character journey we're on. You could have done that, but they didn't. Or he's just desperate to spend time with his family. So he risks everything, including his job, to spend time with his family who don't appreciate him. And then now that's a harder road, but then we figure that one out too. This one, I don't know what it is that he wants. But boy, is he burning a lot of calories, doing a lot of weird, inexplicable shit that isn't very funny. And speaking of inexplicable shit, if I get one more toilet shit, bathroom joke out of this movie, I mean, what the fuck?
That scene went on for way too
Every scene.
long. Well, yeah. Poop is okay.
Bathrooms. Oh, I'm afraid of this bathroom. I'm afraid
Poop
of
is
that.
funny, Richard
This is
Hatem.
shit.
Don't you
This is other
understand?
shit.
Shit is funny. Ha ha.
Not an unending string of shit jokes.
I think you just described Andrew Dice Clay's entire career. An unending stream of shit jokes. No, well, and again, like you have there's these discordant moments in the movie. So these poor people, and I'm saying the poor people as in Kristen Chenoweth and Jeff Daniels, make the mistake of inviting these assholes to their house for dinner. And Robin Williams, at one point, Jeff Daniels and Kristen Chenoweth are sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, we make a living, and $25,000 for turning my stepdad." And then Jeff Daniels goes, and she makes $60,000 a year. And she doesn't get a chance to answer because Robin Williams goes, "Hooking?"
Right. Oh,
and it's
God.
like, what to do?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Did you just fucking say to another adult in front of her husband, and her family? This isn't that kind of movie. Like that's a completely discordant moment because that would have been the moment where Jeff Daniels stands up, punches Robin Williams in the face, and says, "Get out of here!"
Right.
Just called my wife a whore. Like,
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you picture Chevy Chase doing it, it totally works.
right? Well, that's my
He'd say
point.
hooking, someone would just sort of give him a side eye, and they'd move right on, and no one would pay attention.
Jeff Daniels goes, "Funny."
Yeah, right. I know, which is, boy, don't ever do that. Don't ever have a character
Daniels is a
comment
huge
on a
dude.
joke within the movie,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake.
Mhm.
No, but when Chevy Chase does something like that, we know it's for us. When Bill Murray does stuff in movies, we know it's for us.
Right.
He's making a joke to us in the theater that no one else on screen is even aware has happened.
It's like they don't even hear it. Like we are the ones that are privy to that. And like Robin Williams would be perfect for that because he can do those like under the breath things. Like he does that somewhat in this movie. Later on, there's a few times where I was like, oh fuck, I got to turn on the subtitles because he's kind of talking under his breath. And I was like, he's doing the Popeye thing because Popeye, when he did that role, it was perfect because he could just have that flatter going and just completely like let it out and comment about the town and all the people, but nobody heard what the hell he was saying because he was saying it all under his breath, and we as the audience are the ones hearing it. But yeah,
True,
instead
but it depends on the joke too, though, because we're not
depends
here
on the
to
joke.
see Robin Williams be mean and make cutting remarks to people. That's
no,
not
and
that's not why we think he is funny in our life. We think other people, Eddie Murphy. I mean, again, you can name it. There's a lot of comedians who can be assholey and be jerky.
Norm Macdonald.
But like, look,
Oh, yeah.
Ass bite. I mean, that's what Norm Macdonald. I mean, can you imagine like a Norm Macdonald type in this movie? Like,
picture even John Candy would be better in this movie.
oh God, yeah.
Because John Candy could go hooking, and you'd go, well, he's an idiot. You know, he's going to say.
what about
something
Steve
stupid.
Martin? Would Steve Martin have worked in this?
No, Steve.
I
Martin.
don't know. Gee,
No,
he
same
was
problem.
cheaper by the dozen.
Mm.
That movie wasn't terrible.
He can be mean. Steve
He
Martin
can be mean.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta know you have to know what the character is. Like, it's like if Steve Martin
But
is
I
being
think
Clouseau,
I think he would have
yeah,
been mean in this movie if it had been Steve Martin, is my point. I think because it's Robin Williams, they don't know what to do with it. And so the moments that are mean don't work. It's almost like because it's Robin Williams, you can't be mean and you can't be the endearing Robin Williams. So they kind of just did a little bit of both to try to toe the line in both directions. It's like, what are you like walking? You're walking like this. You're walking like a penguin. Like you gotta walk straight into one direction or the other. Because no, like
Yes.
this movie, if it's gonna be this, you gotta be really obvious with where you're going. Because again, what about We're the Millers? Have you guys seen that movie? That's another RV movie.
yes.
That's another RV movie. And you have it's a Jason Sudeikis, who, by the way, plays one of the he is now going to be known as one of the most endearing characters ever with Ted Lasso. But my God, he is
Oh, yeah.
he can play such a fucking asshole in the best
prick.
In
Oh, yeah.
Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, he beats the shit out of Charlie Day in those movies. Like, he's like smacking the shit out of him and everything. He's great. He would have been a better choice for this movie. And in We're the Millers, all those characters eminently unlikable. Every single one of them. Will Poulter's in that goddamn movie. Like, 10-year-old Will Poulter.
And Will Poulter is such a better one of those characters because, again, he's completely clueless. That whole thing where it's like, you're getting paid
for this? Yeah, the meme. Yeah, exactly. And then even to go way further back to something like The Long, Long Trailer, again, you have characters in that movie who are actually pretty unlikable, like in a lot of ways, but by the end of it, they are put so far through the ringer that you understand why they're like, oh my God, like, while the world is falling in on us, we can redeem ourselves by being nice to each other and being there for each other. This movie doesn't even do that. Like, it's almost like the movie doesn't take a direction at all. And that is probably the biggest problem. Is it's almost, I know you had like a body rejecting the transplant reaction, Richard, but I think for Mike and I, it's almost just like, I wish this movie was that bad, because it's more just kind of like,
because look, when you have a certain roster of talent, Barry Sonnenfeld, but I
thought you were talking about you, Richard. When you have this much talent and you're watching this,
when we got this much talent, you're watching a movie.
If Robin Williams was on top of the RV and he jumped forward, would the RV keep going backwards?
No, but Chris, I told you this story, right? I think I just told you that 25 years ago, or however long it was, I got a phone call when Mothman Prophecies, the script, was out in the world. And I got a call from my manager saying, there's an actor out there who is very interested, like seriously, dead serious interested in playing the lead in this movie. And I said, who is it? And they said, Robin Williams.
Which was a fucking mind-blowing thing when you told me. Yes, you did mention this.
Right.
Stuff. It's crazy.
Because then you're like, whoa, because then you sort of like rewriting the whole movie in your head. And my feeling at that moment was, okay, we got a couple problems. One, Robin Williams, giant box office star. Okay. I mean, just, Mrs. Doubtfire had just been like very recent. But Robin Williams wants to do something different than Good Morning Vietnam. He's looking to do different things. So this movie feels like it was in that zone of Robin Williams going, I want to do a variety of things. And one of those things, I want to do one of those I'm the beleaguered dad movies. I want to try to do that thing. And by the way, other actors have done it. Tom Hanks has done a variety of roles. It all comes down to how strong is your iconography and what will the audience accept? Tom Hanks has been able to transcend and do various things, and the audience has accepted him. He's a little bit more of he's not as strong a flavor as Robin Williams. You can't add fucking absinthe to every cocktail. He's more like Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
And Robin Williams is more like, I don't know, who is Robin Williams, like more like Bob Hope? You said Jerry Lewis, but like, I mean, Bob Hope wasn't as frenetic as Robin Williams.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but
Jerry Lewis was frenetic though. That's freneticism.
That's your strength and your weakness, that you are the one and only Robin Williams. Eddie Murphy has gone through the same thing.
Funny that you mentioned that, since the writer of this did Daddy Daycare,
right?
Well as Daddy Day Camp, yes,
and also wrote The Shaggy Dog.
Yeah, well, the remake of the Shaggy.
Well, but the remake of The Shaggy Dog with yet another actor who totally also could have been in this movie, who ends up
Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen totally could have been in this movie. 100%.
Yeah. Right? Oh, much better choice, because people want to hate him.
Right.
So, okay, but here's the devil. The devil is, you're a director or whoever, and you're trying to get a movie made. I don't know if this is the story behind this movie, but it could be, because you could apply it to so many Hollywood movies, especially of like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. You've got a script. People want this kind of movie. And then you have an actor who is not necessarily perfect casting, but is a big box office star.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets the pressure to just say yes is enormous. And at a certain point, people's schedules and a studio's checkbook and release schedule all converged. And I don't know who it was, but everyone just sort of says, fuck it, it's greenlit, just fucking do it. Maybe it will work. And by the way, Barry Sonnenfeld, he didn't do a bad job directing this. Robin Williams didn't do a bad job acting in this. It's just not the right conceptual mix of ingredients. You can take 3 ingredients that are delicious, that do not belong together at all, and come up with something disgusting. And for me, that's what this was.
You know what? And again, to go back to another comparative in terms of movies coming out at the time, a year before this, Are We There Yet came out, which is another road trip movie. And that one works better than this movie does. I actually remember going to the theaters and seeing Are We There Yet in the theaters. And I rewatched it for this, and it was pretty good because guess what? Ice Cube is a dickhead in the movie. He's like an asshole dad. He's just like,
because that's who he is.
Right.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
Public
Yeah,
persona.
exactly. He's a stern dickhead.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, like my face is in a permanent annoyed state. Like,
Yeah.
I just look constantly like annoyed. I have like Ice Cube has resting bitch face. He does like 100%, and he looks
And you're
annoyed. Like
fine
on
with
the poster, he's like this. Like he's annoyed on the poster. That's the fucking joke with the movie.
It works perfectly in 21 Jump Street. He's the captain.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
you want that. You want him to be Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill's boss in that movie. These 2 idiots and this guy. You love it. The elements work. The casting slots in.
You were talking about the bathroom stuff, and there's even the bathroom scene where he's writing his proposal or whatever, his speech, I guess it is. Really disappointed me because, again, Barry Sonnenfeld used to be the DP for the Coen brothers. So he starts off in the bathroom by going across the wall, and it says OPEPOE on the side. I'm like, yep, he did that in Raising Arizona, which I would much rather be watching than this. But then there's that scene where the little kid comes in and talks with Robin Williams. And I was like, okay, well, because he says something like, I haven't slept in however many years or whatever. And I was just like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. Like maybe this kid is a spooky kid, like one of those weird little spooky kids. No, he just kind of goes on his way, and he's very helpful later on. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, again, it's like, have something behind your stuff here. Like, give me a little bit more. Turn it up. And I guess that's why I wasn't offended by this movie, is just because it was so vanilla compared to other stuff that I was just like, oh, well, that wasn't, you're talking about mixing ingredients. I was like, well, that wasn't a harsh taste, but basically it was kind of Pablo,
Mike,
nothing.
When you have a roster of talent like myself,
yes,
now I am talking
Mhm.
and I'm referring to myself as a roster of talent.
Yes.
And you guys know this. You've lived through it innumerable times. But and not to be a dick about it, but when it's your job and it's been your job for 30 years, and when all you do every day is try to solve shit like this, you don't turn it off when you watch a movie. And sometimes it means I come at a movie from an unfair perspective. But all I'm doing is watching this and going, something's wrong here. Okay, I got to figure it out and I got to solve it.
Right.
That's how I'm a hunting dog. That's how I've been trained. That is what I do. I can't help it. Something runs, I chase it. I watch a movie, I solve it. And this movie, like I can never turn my brain off. So I'm watching this going, something smells wrong. What's wrong?
Mhm.
And I spend an hour and a half trying to fix it. And sometimes, by the way, it fixes itself. And within 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I get it. I see where they're going. All right, shift gears, take this in. This movie bugged the shit out of me from beginning to end. And I knew where it was going to go. I'm like, well, what's going to happen is they're going to make friends with Jeff Daniels and that whole family. But when you don't set it up right, when that shit plays out, it's unearned.
Oh, it is completely unearned.
Oh, yeah.
Why was Jeff Daniels that would have been like, get the fuck away from me, you
Yeah.
ass clowns? Like,
They were
Should have
so
murdered
mean
them.
to them the whole time. And like that spooky little kid, like he's the one that notices that the hitchhiker guy has Robin Williams's computer. And they're like, oh my God, we have to bring this back to him, this poor guy, and chasing him down. And then the way that they're just like, oh, ignore them. Oh, get off at this exit. It's like, come on, guys, like give them something here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the thing that really hasn't irked all of us is the amount of poorly done blue and green screen in this movie, because when they're in that RV, oh my God, it is just clearly like a set that they are just all sitting in. And then there are those moments where Robin Williams is like on the front of the thing and you can like, he's trying to pull the scene that I feel like was the cornerstone of the movie script. They were like, the funniest thing is when the RV gets caught on a peak and it has to tilt back and forth. Like, yes, the peak of physical comedy for anyone writing. But you have these scenes of that where it's like Robin Williams, it cuts to Robin Williams on the front of it, clearly CGI. Then you have a stuntman who's like ripped and jacked as fuck with like a wig on doing it. And then it's back to Robin Williams. It's poorly done and lazy. And that's supposed to be like the centerpiece of the movie, even on top of everything else. Like I can forgive it when they're just driving and you have a shot of like Robin Williams pretending to drive the RV and looking over at Cheryl Hines and talking to her, but that's like one of the set pieces of the movie, and it just feels contrived. All of the movie feels contrived and not fun. But again, for the most part, it's not abrasive or offensive enough for me to be like, completely avoid it. It's just like there's no other Robin Williams road trip movies. So if you want to watch a Robin Williams road trip movie, this is the one to watch. But most of the
watch it, you guys. I'm telling you, don't let Chris know that I'm saying this, but don't ever watch this movie ever.
I mean, again, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I don't think there's a reason to, unless you want to see Robin Williams in it, because there are better versions of this movie. We've talked about like several already that are not only better, much better, if not light years better, if not the gold standard of this genre, which is, by the way, National Lampoon's Vacation. Like it is the gold standard of this. And then you have other things, you know, that you can kind of look at as kind of lesser things or riffs on it, like We're the Millers, or one that I really like, which is Euro Trip, like another road trip movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Or Road Trip, another road trip movie. Like this one just happens to be set in an RV, so it's almost like road trip movie with a niche, where that's why we talk about Long Trailer and other things like that. But this movie, it's just it's not funny enough or bad enough to warrant watching, other than the fact that it has Robin Williams, which I almost feel like may be the case with everything we watch this month, which is the Robin Williams of it all moves the needle up 10% that it wouldn't otherwise.
Are we, I should ask what I'm on tonight. I know it's Mike White March, right? But is there a Robin Williams theme that's inferior to it? Is it like Robin Williams B-sides, or
well,
is it?
I asked the all-powerful ChatGTP, the thing that is going to replace you as a writer, Richard, and it gave me the list of the worst Robin Williams films. And I was offended because the first one that they chose was Popeye, and I said, yeah, fuck that shit, I love Popeye. So I went with the rest of these, and this one was right up there at the top as far as being so poorly rated, and people just hated it. Yeah.
So they ChatGPT just does a just scans for rankings and says, okay, here are the 0 Rotten Tomatoes, whatever. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So actually I said, I want you to concatenate the ratings from IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and give me
that is a very, very cool, smart, approach, because I mean, again, it's kind of like the Mothman Prophecies thing. Robin Williams, sort of to his credit, tried to do other things that made
and
sense.
did.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes was
Good Will Hunting, Dead Poet Society, or Dead Poet Society. That's another one, right?
Yeah. 1 Hour Photo. I mean,
1 Hour Photo. Yeah, that's the one that I know. Again, people are kind of all over the
Death
place.
to Smoochie.
Oh, fuck
Death to Smoochie is fucking amazing.
Yes, it is.
But here's what's great about that. When a guy has $100 million in the bank and knows that he's never, ever going to outspend his goodwill, and he never did, but he knew it. He's like, I have, 100 coins of goodwill. I can do 99 bad movies, and the world will still basically have a good feeling about me. And so he spent it. He was brave in that way. And I'll tell you, I remember where I was the night he died. I was with Joe Dante.
Whoa.
What a fucking flex that is. What a flex that is.
Joe Dante was directing an episode of Witches of East End, which is a show that I was on that he and Mick Garris both directed episodes. And they came in because our director-producer that year was Alan Arkush.
Nice.
Oh, friend of Father Malone, friend of Weirding Way Media, Alan Arkush.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dick Miller.
And friend of mine, except For some reason, I think he secretly hates me, but maybe I just always think that.
No, he doesn't secretly hate you. I've talked with him before.
Yeah, we've talked to him. That's why he's told us. Yeah, he's told
It's
us.
no secret. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting on set. We're in Vancouver. We're directing something, and or he's directing, and I'm just hanging out. And anyway, the news comes across that Robin Williams is dead, and there is just a palpable wave through the entire set.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone down to from crew to cast to everyone, just like, and not everyone's worked with him and not everyone knows him, but everyone is like, this is the end of something and we're never going to have it again.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone felt it. And that is who Robin Williams was. And I will never, like, look, yes, I hated this movie. Okay, who cares? Robin Williams was a unique talent, and like
seminal talent.
He had the guts to go, I want to see what the far wall is on this. I want to see how far I can take this and where I can go with it. And that's what he did. And RV is possibly a part of that creative exploration. And I'll even say to Barry Sonnenfeld, and by the way, people, you're not dumb for hiring Barry Sonnenfeld to do this movie.
No.
He's done offbeat family comedies like The Addams fucking Family.
Yeah,
like,
both of them very good movies.
Yeah, you're not out of your mind. So yeah, I had a reaction to this.
There's no such thing as a sure thing, but Barry Sonnenfeld can direct comedy rather well.
But when you take people who are very specific, flavors again, and you mix them together, sometimes you come up with a great cocktail, but usually you come up with something that makes you vomit.
So Richard, I'm curious then, because this is the only time you're on with us this month, and you've brought up Robin Williams now. What is your where do you come in at with Robin Williams? What's your Robin Williams flavor of choice?
Like, what's my favorite Robin Williams movie?
I mean, I don't know necessarily favorite, but I mean favorite movie or one you gravitate towards or a performance that you appreciate. I don't know. Run with it however you'd like.
You'd almost have to remind me. I'm sure there's one out there that I'm forgetting. I respect much of what he does, but for me, Robin Williams is the guy wearing rainbow-colored suspenders doing stand-up in 1977.
You would think there would have been a reference to Mork and Mindy since they were going to Boulder of all places, even a shot of that sign like in the beginning credits, right?
That's genius. I never even thought of that, Mike. That's genius. But here's what I'm going to add on to that and to what I just said. Unless I am vastly mistaken, there is no Robin Williams concert film that captured him in the moment he was lightning in a bottle. There's no...
Robin Williams live on Broadway is the one that I resonate with, and I think that's pretty close.
What year was that?
2002.
Yeah. See, that's the problem.
Well, there was one in 86 and one in 83 and one in 78.
I don't want to see Eddie Murphy's concert film from 2010. I want to see fucking Delirious, and I want to see, what was the other one?
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah.
It's like at the moment. You need it at the moment. You need a film record of Steve Martin at the Universal Amphitheater with the Blues Brothers opening. That is the moment. And we missed the Robin Williams moment in terms of filmed entertainment. There were people who saw it live, but we never got the 1979 concert film. Well, 1979 is too late. It was 1976. Anyway, whatever. That was who Robin Williams was to me growing up. It was like, oh, it's this completely out of control magic guy. Anyway, so it's tough for me. I mean, yeah, Good Will Hunting, okay, whatever. Dead Poet Society, sure. Good Morning Vietnam, yep. But there is no movie that I watch over and over again to give me what I need from Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying more like Robin Williams, you were more the Robin Williams stand-up as the comedian.
Yeah, because I don't know the movie. I think of Richard Pryor, you certainly do have Live on Sunset, and that N-word's crazy or what.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got moments of filmed entertainment that you can time capsule it and show people and go, this is what I mean when I say Richard Pryor. This is what I mean when I say Eddie Murphy. And I don't think you have that for Robin Williams.
I'm surprised you're not picking something from the the late 80s, early 90s, but I get it.
I was hoping for Survivors.
With Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
You're driving like a fish out of water with diarrhea.
That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
Or like Fern Gully or Toys.
Oh, come on.
Come on, what?
That no one is pointing at Toys as a classic of anything. Fucking Barry. That's the other Barry.
No one is
Very uneven.
No one is doing anything with Toys. Yes, correct. I unabashedly love that movie. Unfortunately,
Well, you unabashedly love View to a Kill.
that's true. But I didn't see Toys growing up and think it was. It's not nostalgia glasses with Toys for me.
No one talks about. No one is talking about Toys like. Well, and now that we're looking back at Robin Williams, here's the forgotten gem.
No,
Right.
that's not.
I don't know
museum.
what is the forgotten gem.
I'm not sure he has one. Really, like.
The movies came out. I think they're all rated exactly as they should be. Right.
Oh, it's got to be Club Paradise is the forgotten gem.
Right.
Fern Gully.
Maybe movies and television
Robots.
were not his medium.
Robots. I don't know. I mean, he was part of my childhood in a pretty big way. I couldn't tell you how many times I watched fucking Flubber, man. Like, speaking of Jerry Lewis, like I watched Flubber a lot. Aladdin was a big part of my childhood. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
I mean, that Aladdin.
Think about that.
There are
might
so
be
many.
right.
There are
Aladdin
so.
might be the best
I
Robin
think
Williams
Aladdin.
movie.
I think Aladdin is his. I think for people of a certain age, Robin Williams's role is either Mrs. Doubtfire or Aladdin. Just like I think for people of a certain age, of a certain time, Tom Hanks's role is either Forrest Gump or Woody from Toy Story. Think about how many people just don't even know who Tom Hanks is, but they know the voice of Woody. They couldn't tell you, people grew up not knowing what Tom Hanks looked like, but they knew the voice of Woody. Children growing up in the mid 2000s never saw Tom Hanks, but they saw Woody and they heard Woody. Same with Robin Williams. They heard the voice of the genie. Genie is a seminal Disney character the same way Woody and Buzz are.
Look, and God forbid, I'm serious. God forbid the day Tom Hanks dies.
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
The day he dies,
It'll be a big deal. It'll be a big deal.
But then there'll be 10 things that people will talk about that you'll go, oh, of course. There'll be Forrest Gump, but then there'll be Big, and they'll be talking about Woody, and there'll be 7 others that you will go, yes.
Well, the forgotten one for him is Joe versus the volcano.
So next week on Culture Cast,
is it?
Wow. For me, it is. Yeah,
I haven't seen the movie ever.
That's one of those ones that
It's
Susan was trying to get me to watch that one. I think Susan likes that one, Richard.
It's a really good film, and the script is very well written, and I think the acting is terrific. So,
Is that John Patrick Shanley?
I'm not sure who does that one. I know it's Tom Hanks, and I know it's Meg Ryan, and it's really super stylized, and I really appreciate that.
Well, it's funny for a Tom Hanks Meg Ryan movie. It's probably always going to be
Sleepless in Seattle, which sucks. Yeah, it is John Patrick Shanley. Yeah,
but back to Chris's comment. Weirdly, a guy like Robin Williams, it might require an animated film to represent that level of energy and creative, it's not even a shotgun, it's a machine gun.
Right.
It's
a minigun, baby.
Yeah.
Nobody did it better than Robin Williams. Nobody did it better than Robin Williams.
Well, but again, if you 100 years from now, if you had to show someone something and say, I need you to understand what Robin Williams was at the most percentage, Aladdin might be it.
Well, that's what you were talking about on the last episode, Mike, and the reality was they just let him go and then they animated it to him. I mean, that's pretty fucking wild. And knowing the animation process, that's not how that works, really. You're making it harder on the animators to be just animate to the way the guy is. What? Wait, what? But that is exactly what happened because the mannerisms of the man outweigh what they were coming in with because he was, again, I don't know. I'm not saying Robin Williams could do no wrong, but Richard and Mike, you didn't mention if you remember where you were. I remember where I was when Robin Williams passed away. That's not a thing that comes with everybody in pop culture. I remember where I was when Prince passed away. Remember where I was when David Bowie passed away. I remember where I was when Michael Jackson passed away. There aren't a lot of people that I'm like, I remember where I was when Maggie Smith passed away or Alan Rickman. Like, I'm not saying I believe Maggie
Are
Smith.
you telling me that Maggie Smith is dead?
I thought she passed away like last year. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
She actually made the Oscars montage. There were a lot of people that did.
Oh boy, I'm sorry to have to tell you that one, Richard. But
What do you mean President Kennedy's dead?
What? Well, Maggie Smith is the female Abe Vigoda. You're like, wait, she was still alive?
she looked old when she was young. Yeah.
She was old when she was young.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, Robin Williams is in a class of people where, similar to Tom Hanks, it's like part of the pandemic experience was us all finding out Tom Hanks had COVID. Like, that was one of the big things. Remember?
It was the worst moment.
Yeah.
That was
When
like,
he got it, it was like, oh, this shit just got real.
Right. Which is
it got
fucking
too
wild.
real too fast. It was like, if he dies, this.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it says a lot, because I feel like Robin Williams, for a lot of people of a certain age, up into a certain age, I mean, again, there are kids today that know who Robin, but I don't think that they know him the way that people maybe. I think the oldest I would say is probably people in their mid-20s and older probably know who Robin Williams is, like the person, less the voice. Like, I mean, maybe kids are seeing him in like Disney Channel movies now, but like, I don't know if kids know who Robin Williams is. He's been dead for over a decade now. Like, pop culture moves fast, unfortunately. That's the reality of things. But I think, Robin Williams, I think maybe to your point, Richard, like because I didn't really answer it last week. If you had to ask me what I would point someone at for Robin Williams, it would be 2002's Live on Broadway. I heard that CD so many times growing up. I listened to that CD on repeat.
Was it? But it was
It was stand up. It was
a movie.
No. Yeah, it was like filmed. Yeah, it was a film. It was like on a
concert film.
It was one of those HBO. It was like HBO did it, like they did Carlin's specials and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But that for me is like, if I were to point someone at the Robin Williams thing, for me, it wouldn't be Aladdin or Mrs. Doubtfire. It would be, to your point, I think Robin Williams got where he got because his ability to do free association. And I think any script that they gave him was like, they're trading in his charisma and his likability. But I don't think a lot of the things that we've watched or will watch this month, or in general, other than probably Aladdin and a couple other things, really traded in his ability to do the fast free association thing. Like, this is like Chevy Chase's thing was easy to write to. He's a smug prick. Okay, write a smug prick. Robin Williams's thing is he can do free association really well, and he's a really good comedian. Why is this guy in movies like this? Like, what?
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
But he tried and was successful in.
Because he was so charismatic.
Places.
Yeah.
He tried to be an actor. He consciously said, okay, but I can do things. And then you read about his life and you're like, oh, he went to Juilliard. Like, he is a Shakespeare savant.
Oh, yeah. He was amazing in that Shakespeare, the version of Hamlet that Braga did.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You cannot fake improv free associate in Shakespearean language unless you know Shakespeare to the degree that he did. So he was a classically trained actor with Christopher Reeve. They both went to Juilliard at the same time. They were classmates. And so it's look, the guy contained multitudes and did really interesting stuff. And so like I said, none of this is against that. But it is always a fascinating question of movie iconography. You can talk about, one day we'll do Steve Martin. I don't know if you've already done a, Steve Martin retrospective, but there are movies that are very sort of successful Steve Martin movies, really unsuccessful Steve Martin movies, and then ones that are successful, but you resent them. It's like, I'm not sure the Clouseau movies are terrible movies, and I don't know that he did a terrible job, but it's upsetting that he did it.
Would it be even more upsetting to you to learn that I saw those Pink Panther movies before I saw the real Pink Panther movies?
No, but I get that. No, that's the point I'm making.
Hey, it's upsetting.
There are going to be people growing up thinking that Steve Martin is Inspector Clouseau.
Right.
And there's something weird about that. And there's going to be people growing up thinking that he's Sergeant Bilko.
Well, and like
they're
I
not
said,
gonna
there are some
steal
people
silvers.
there are people that grew up not knowing Tom Hanks is anything other than Woody, and that's like
Well,
it's
I mean, but
but I
that's
mean like
different.
but in a lot of ways it's the same thing with Robin Williams. Like there are going to be people that grow up knowing very little about Robin Williams because at this point he's made nothing new, and anything is going to have been 20 years old almost.
Well,
You know?
yeah, but that's the Disney point, is that the one Disney is eternal. There will
Yes.
always be a child watching Aladdin for the first time, and so it's like,
And there will always be people
Maybe
going to those theme parks to see the genie. You know?
yeah, so maybe that's not such a bad thing to
That's
be
the thing.
on your metaphorical tombstone, because that's accurate.
You
That's like,
ain't
yes,
never
watch
had a
that, that's-
friend like me, baby. That's Robin Williams. I mean, he sang
And you know
that
what?
song. That's, I mean,
And frankly, though, if you watch, I think to a certain extent, now not to a great extent, if you sit down tonight and watch The Jerk, that is Steve Martin.
Oh yeah,
I think you can say that, right?
100%. Again, though, with Steve Martin, I love the stand-up. I think even more than some of the movie roles. Love that
Right.
stand-up.
But what and all we have from the stand-up are weird like snippets, you know. I watched that 2-part documentary where you get, it's like, oh, there were cameras.
Oh yeah. There are
Concerts.
filmed, and then all the albums and stuff. I mean, Comedy Isn't Pretty, Let's Get Small, all of those albums, even those TV specials that he was doing in the old days where he gets completely blitzed out of his mind and jumps onto his, what the hell do they call those things? With the big roller, the
The steamroller.
steamroller, yeah. And it's like friends don't let friends drive drunks on a steamroller. Or where all the comedians are coming to him, Steve, how about I try this? And he's just like, not funny. And it's like Mel Brooks and Woody Allen and all these guys,
That was meta before
loved it.
meta was a thing.
Yes.
I have one more question because this person hasn't come up, but we've talked about someone that was in a movie with this person. And I'm curious because, again, comedian of a certain time, comparative to Billy Crystal and his film career, Robin Williams. Because Billy Crystal, another student of the stand-up comedy, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got
Crystal's stand-up was amazing, especially when he would do his Yul Brynner impersonation.
He's a great performer, and I think that the movies that stand for him are When Harry Met Sally and maybe City Slickers.
Yeah, and then of course his small but very memorable role as Magic Max in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of
That would
course,
be his supporting actor. Yeah.
his incredible role in Spinal Tap too. Come on, mime is money.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure.
But that's the thing about, I think, all of these kind of 80s comedians, late 70s, early 80s comedians. Some of them, I think they had people writing for them that understood their talents, and some of them didn't. And I think Robin Williams at the end of his career willed out more quality than not. But I also think that Robin Williams, like Tom Hanks, like Billy Crystal, like a whole lot. Because again, Tom Hanks got his start in comedy films. Like a lot of Tom Hanks's early work is comedic. Like it's weird for people to think that now, but one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies, Dragnet. Like that's a great movie. It's a purely comedic film. Like it is nothing about it is sappy or saccharine the way a bunch of Tom Hanks's stuff becomes in the 90s. But Robin Williams, again, like
Robin have that.
Yeah, you can have it, but that's not what, in my mind, he's known for.
But like Tom Hanks, you've got a range because he is primarily an actor. But then you like, we could have this same conversation, and perhaps in a future month will, about Bill Murray, where Bill Murray in the last 20, 30 years has done a lot of stuff that is like, oh, that's interesting to one degree or another, successful, not successful, successful in a weird way, partially, whatever. But gun to your head, time capsule, you're going with Ghostbusters and Stripes.
Ghostbusters.
That is who Bill Murray is. That is the essence. That is the pure undistilled. Here is what this person is. Now they can, now that they're a billionaire, they can do whatever they want and experiment and go do fucking Hamlet if they want. But if you want to know who Bill Murray is, you're going to watch Ghostbusters or Stripes. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure not going to sit down and watch that stupid Lost in Translation again.
No.
Yikes.
No one's going to do that.
Well, there are some people that really think that movie Ropes the Moon. Just don't think it's anybody in this podcast episode.
I don't
that's
think
for
so
sure.
either.
Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about with Runaway Vacation? Terrible title for a movie, by the way. Worse than RV somehow. Just worse somehow.
Yeah.
Richard, final thoughts on RV.
I think you can skip it.
Wow. There you go. What about you, Mike?
I guess Richard's convinced me that it's just not very good at all. So yeah, I'm kind of right there with you.
I think in a lot of ways it's not a great movie. I think unfortunately there aren't any other road trip movies with Robin Williams. The closest I think Robin Williams comes in a movie that is similar to this one that comes out at a similar time in my mind, if you want to watch something that I think has him playing kind of the beleaguered father character in a fun way, not a world's greatest dad way, which is really depressing.
God, I love it.
Old Dogs is like what this movie should have felt like. Old Dogs is a fun, weird movie that this movie kind of never gets to, and Old Dogs comes out like 3 years after this. So this movie just made me think of other movies where Robin Williams is playing a beleaguered father, and that one's way better than this. And so that's where I would push someone if they were saying like, well, I want to watch this, but at the same time, this is the only road trip movie with Robin Williams. So if that's a thing you want to see, this is where you have to go see it. It's not terrible, but it kind of squanders Robin Williams. So on that note, we'll take a break, play some ads, and play a TV spot for the next episode.
From Weirding Way Media, Cambridge and Washawn is a podcast about two guys' obsessions, passions, and hobbies. Those two guys are
Mark Bigley, host of Wake Up Heavy, Recollections of Horror,
and Ronald Zerigian, host of the Skelevator YouTube channel.
Each month we talk about the toys, comics, movies, books, TV shows, and other cultural phenomena that captured our imaginations and helped shape who we are today.
From Masters of the Universe to Saturday Night Live, Star Wars to Harry Houdini, The Muppets to The Elephant Man, Ronnie and Mark dive deep into the recesses of their minds to pull out treasured memories of things lost but never forgotten.
Join us on the first Tuesday of each month over at weirdingwaymedia.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Join me, Jamie Benning, on the Filmumentaries podcast, particularly if you enjoy stories like designer Nilo Rodis Jamiro convincing George Lucas to push him around to help gain the support of his crew on the ailing Howard the Duck.
Blam! The door opens, it's George. Everybody gasps. George makes a beeline to me. I'm literally back against the wall.
Or hear puppeteer Tim Rose's emotional story behind that iconic Admiral Akbar shot in Return of the Jedi.
I believe that war is something to be proud of, but not to celebrate.
Or how Star Wars editor Paul Hirsch tackled cutting so many successful films.
The thing that I learned from working with De Palma is that tension depends on a clock. You need to have the sense that time is running out.
Maybe Oscar-winning sound designer Mark Mangini's insightful chat about his work on Blade Runner 2049.
Not a single sound from the original Blade Runner in the new film. A great deal of inspiration.
That's the Filmumentaries podcast with me, Jamie Benning.
Hello, Twisted Humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting? Then this is the podcast for you. In 1952, there was a record high of UFOs reported. 1,500 sightings.
There has been evidence of human sacrifice, devil worship, and it is haunted by more spirits than can be counted.
A family of 2 adults and 2 kids reportedly saw a giant flying thing with glowing red eyes.
And meanwhile, the family's nanny that helped Veronica to care for her and Lucian's children was found bludgeoned to death in the basement of their family home.
I'm Alicia. And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
by the Surgeon General.
We'll use humor to heal pain and suffering.
He's not certified by the AMA.
If you want to be a clown, go join the circus.
And 4 out of 5 doctors surveyed
Donner, party of 50?
don't know what to make of him.
The hospital will cover all of your bills. Any other questions?
Nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor, Robin Williams.
Your TV's broken there.
Patch Adams, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
That's right. On the next episode, we're going to be talking about License to Wed, a movie that has Robin Williams playing a man of the cloth, which is fucking horrifying. It just don't even, the explanation behind it there, you couldn't convince me it makes sense, but okay. And on that episode, we'll be joined by our dear friend Ryan Verrill of The Disconnected. And Mike will be joining us, obviously, as well, since it is still Mike White March. So until then, where can people find you when you're not slandering the good name of Robin Williams, Richard Hatem?
You can find me on Richard Hatem's Paranormal Bookshelf. I do invite you. It's not what you expect. It's certainly not like anything I've ever done anywhere else. Check it out. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's paranormal David Sedaris. It is storytelling, and I think you'll like it. Check it out.
Whoa, self-comparatives. Holy shit, Richard.
Wow.
Whoa.
I got 10 seconds to sell this motherfucker.
Richard talked pretty one day.
Yeah, Richard talking pretty today, apparently. What about you, Mike White?
Oh, everything that I do pretty much is available at weirdingwaymedia.com, except for the one thing that we do with Richard once a month. We talk about James Bond over at our Patreon, which is patreon.com/projection booth or patreon.com/culturecast. Come on over, make a donation at the $10 and up level, and you get early access to all kinds of stuff. You get a monthly preview of things that'll be talking about the next month. Sometimes there's movie code download giveaways, those kind of things. So come on by. I think you'll like that, and you'll definitely like Ranking on Bond if you are a James Bond fan. Well, maybe it's better if you're not a James Bond fan.
Yeah, who knows at this point? God only knows what it would be. A Bond fan, don't be a Bond fan, who knows? Mike said it already, so I don't have to say it. weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can go to find everything but that. Like, rate, and review this show on iTunes, regardless of where you get it. iTunes is the place to like, rate, and review the show, and like, rate, and review any content that you get, because hey, we're all doing this essentially for free. And not that we're saying times are hard, but you know how much eggs are. Go to the fucking grocery store and look. This boy eats a lot of eggs. I've got to make my egg quota for the month. Them things are expensive, folks. But like, rate, and review this and so many other content that you interact with on the internet, please. Because content creators, we do it out of a love for what we love. And, sometimes it's because we think we're David Sedaris, apparently. Richard Hatem. Wow. Is that the Lebanese salute?
Yes, it is.
Richard, thank you so much for joining us. It was this was fun. More fun even than RV possible.
Always my pleasure to talk to you guys. This has been great.
And Mike, thank you so much for picking the entertainment for this episode. It was a good one.
You're welcome, America.
And as always, we'll catch you on the next episode.